All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to do a little lesson. I was talking with one of the brothers on Gmail, right? Bible Defender. I was talking with the brother. We're going back and forth on a couple topics. Having a little friendly discussion on it. Which, as I say, I like that brother. If I remember, I'll put a link to his channel in the comment section, right? Go subscribe to him, right? He does a lot of good videos on there, man. So go subscribe to that brother. As I said, if I remember, I'll put a link to it in the comment section down below. So go subscribe to him. But me and him were having a conversation, and one of the things that came up was, this whole, thing that Mind of God's on there talking about, man. He calls it a pre-plague rapture. Right, so if I do a video, just for future reference, if I do a video and I mention a pre-plague rapture, then that's referring to Mind of God's doctrine. But if I mention a pre-tribulation rapture, it's referring to the Christian philosophy. Because when he hears me make a statement and say pre-tribulation rapture, he tries to correct me and say, well, don't misrepresent what I'm saying. It's like, well, wait a second, understand there's a difference. Right, there is a difference between it, because there's one group who teaches a pre-tribulation rapture and you who teaches a pre-plague rapture, right? So I got to, if I comment on each of them, right, I'll make the distinction between it. Okay, so right now we're dealing with this pre-plague rapture. Okay, so the brother made a statement and said, and this is regarding Mind of God, he said his followers are going to bug out when they find out that in the middle of a global famine and all hell breaking loose, and we pilgrims on the earth, right? And basically we're talking about, yeah, man, they got all of their, followers out here, getting their hopes up, hoping that they're all going to be delivered, before the Great Tribulation. And that's not true, man, right? That's not true. Okay, sorry to get your hopes up, and to, to tell you what's wrong. Okay, so, that's just what it is, though. Right, so, sorry for you out there who got your hopes up, thinking that, you were going to be raptured out of here before any of these major events take place, but you're going off, right? And of course, it doesn't mean one deliberately, is believing that deceitfully. It doesn't, mean that. And I'll say this, I don't believe Mind of God is deceitfully, just telling people that to deceive people. Of course not, right? That's definitely not true. Right, just like I'll give an example. Russian Vids is not telling people about this, what is it, Project Bluebeam agenda. He's not telling people that just to deceive people. He really believes it, right? He's not just saying that to deceive you. No, he really believes that's what it is, right? He's not being paid by nobody. And I always hate to hear everyone talk about, oh, if you don't disagree with me, then you must be a shill, right? It's like, they believe that people are being paid. It's like, wait a second. Why the hell would somebody who has 50 subs be paid just to lie to 50 people that are subscribed to their channel and the 3 people that watch their videos? I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But that's what everyone's out here talking about, man, which is nonsense. It's just totally ridiculous. Okay, but I don't want to go too far off topic. Okay, I don't want to go too far off topic. Going back to what I was saying is, now I was watching Mind of God's live stream he did a few hours ago. And, there's a lot of guys on the comment board, who are agreeing with his sequence of the end times, right? Which basically includes, a pre-plague rapture, which is basically, the church, which is what? Believers, right? A church of believers. That's what the church is today. Sorry about that. He taught that they're all going to be raptured away before, these, global events, take place, man. Right, and that's not true. Right, that is false. That's not true. Okay, the scriptures speak about how, what is that? If you go to, I want to say Matthew, the 24th chapter, start at verse 29 on down, it says what? That immediately after the tribulation of those days will the Son of Man return, and to gather his elect, wherever they're scattered abroad the face of the earth. And then he'll try to, pull out, a Uno switch card, inside joke, and try to say that, or I should say Uno reverse card. Shout out to anybody who knows what that is. Right, he'll pull out that Uno reverse card and try to say, well, it says tribulation. It doesn't say great tribulation. So see, even though it says tribulation, you can't use that because it doesn't say great tribulation. Right, so you can't use that to come against what we're saying. It's like, well, wait a second. If you go back to the, I want to say the 21st verse, right? What is that? Matthew 24, verse 21 on down, right? The verse underneath it says what? That there's going to be great tribulation that the world has never seen. And then it says, but for the elect's sake, those days they will be shortened, right? So for the elect's sake, those days are going to be shortened, man. Which proves the elect's going to be on the earth during that time period. There's no way around it. Right, so as I said, man, guys are on there, trying to be deep, right? Trying to be on the level, for a lack of better words. That's what guys are out here doing, man. Everyone's trying to be, on a level with the scriptures. And then they're getting all confused. That's why you got guys out here talking about, well, the mark can't be out yet because we're still waiting for an antichrist to rise up. It's like, well, wait a second. Well, what are you talking about? According to the scriptures, what is that? 1 John 2 and 18, 1 John 2 and 20, might be 22. I believe it's verse 20. It says, that he that denies the Father and the Son, this is a liar and an antichrist. Right? He that denies that the Son, Yahushua, who the world calls Christ, he that denies that Jesus is the Christ, he is a liar and an antichrist. That's what it says. So according to the Bible, there's more than one antichrist, and that's a whole nother topic. Right? That's a whole nother can of beans right there. Inside joke. Right? But that's a whole nother subject right there. Okay, and that's, as I said, man, there's a lot of deception going on right now, man. Okay, a lot of people are being, deceived, right? Believing that, I'll give an example. This new, group of rebels that arose, right, called themselves tried and refined. We call them tried and died is what we refer to them as. But they're out there talking about that there's no UFOs in the scriptures. The hell these guys mean there's no UFOs? And then to make matters even worse, they're out there talking about that there's no missiles. Not only are they not in the Bible, that they don't exist in real life. I mean, come on, man. These guys, these guys are doing too much, man. Right? These guys are too much. So we don't really deal with those guys anymore. Because it's just, they're kicking against the brick wall is basically what it's like, man. Okay, and Christ even told, what is that? If you go to, I want to say Acts the 9th chapter, right, dealing where Apostle Paul, was on his way, to Damascus, and the Christ appeared unto him, and one thing he said to him, because Paul was, persecuting the Christ, right, his church, his followers, right, the Christians, because the word Christian just means a Christ follower. That's what the word means. So he was persecuting the church. So when he appeared to him, he was like, Paul, why are you, persecuting, me, right? Persecuting my followers. And then if you go later on, he basically told him, hey, look, you can't kick against the pricks. He was saying you can't really kick against the bricks, man. Right? You can't do it. Right? So that's what these guys are trying to do, man. We built up a firm foundation on what we believe. Okay, now, of course, even though there are certain, camps that teach differently, we all have a firm foundation, man. Right? There's certain things that we teach that you're not going to be able to change your minds on. Think about it this way. Let's see, what could I use? Just think of it this way, right? It's a brick foundation, but as you go up, the house can have a different design at the top of the house, right? But it has a firm foundation, right? So over time, they can change, the shape that they want at the top of the house, right? They can do another story on it, right? They can do whatever they want, right? Of course, not all houses are the same. However, they all have a firm foundation, right, that they're built upon, right? So what I bring that up, the reason I bring that up is that we have a firm foundation, okay, that we stand on, meaning what? That there's certain doctrinal teachings and beliefs we have that we're not going to budge on it. Right now, could be other things that, we might be 50-50 on, right? Or, are subject to debate. That's fine. But there's certain things that are not subject to debate, that the whole foundation is built upon. I'll give a couple examples, right? That Christ is black, right? That's the foundation that we're built upon, right? That the real Jews of the Bible are so-called Negroes. Our foundation is built upon that teaching, that America is Mystery Babylon. We're built upon that. Okay, those are not going to change. Okay, so you can come up and argue, but you're not going to change your mind on it. Okay, so you guys are just kicking against a brick wall, man. Right, you're not going to, hey, look, at this point in time, you're not going to convince us that that the Vatican is Mystery Babylon. You're not going to do it, man. All right, tried and died. You're not going to change our belief that, the Vatican's Babylon. You're not going to do it. It's just not how it's going to go, man. You're not going to change our belief on it. We're firm on what we're standing on, right? You're not going to convince us that UFOs are not in the Bible. You're not going to convince us of that. We're not changing what we're saying. Okay, we built our firm foundation upon those beliefs, and we're not changing it, man. And I can speak for Mind of God too, right? He's the majority of what I mentioned, if not all the subjects I just mentioned that the foundation's built upon, he subscribes to it, right? That would be his foundation. I believe a vast majority of the subjects I mentioned, which is 4 or 5 of them, he'd give you the same answer, right? There are certain things that we can, go back and forth about, sure, but there are certain things that the foundation of our doctrine is set upon. Okay, so no matter how, you come to approach what we're saying, you're never going to change our mind on it. You're just not going to be able to do it. And we're not going to change yours, right? Hey, look, if you don't see UFOs in the scriptures, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. If you don't see America in the Bible, I'm not going to convince you otherwise. Right? And the same, vice versa, right? You're not going to convince us otherwise, right? You're not going to convince us, and we're not going to convince you. So at this point, it's just kicking against the brick wall, man. That's why we don't really, interact with those brothers inside joke, anymore, man. Right? Because those guys are just, they're too much. Those guys are just too much right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, man, you have, World War III is about to pop off any day now. Yet these guys want to sit here and argue about, if we're living under the new covenant right now, which is not true. We're not living under the new covenant. That's a whole nother topic. So we're not going to go off onto that. Okay. But I don't want to ramble on, right? We'll get back to the subject I was discussing. Yeah, man, a lot of guys are going to be, brokenhearted, man. I'll give this example, right? Mind of God for the last, 3 months, I want to say. He made a statement. He said that if I'm part of the elect, that my Christ will be returning before January 1st, 2022. Let me state that again. The Mind of God said that if my, God is true, right, my doctrine is true, that my Christ will be returning before January 1st, 2022. That's what the brother said. You can ask him. That's what he said. Now, we're, what is it? Like 20 days away from the 1st as of the day of this recording. Okay? Or something along those lines. Okay, so hey, man, you better hope, man, right? You better hope that your Christ returns soon, man. All right, because we said, right, for the record, ETT, said that wasn't going to happen. Why? Because, of course, it's true that no man knows the day or the hour. That's true. But it's also true that there's certain prophecies that have to happen before the Christ can return. Such as what? The time period of Jacob's trouble, also called the Great Tribulation. That has to happen first before the Christ can return. Okay, so he's clearly going off, and I called him out on it since day one. Right, and he's, you can tell, man, that that he knows, right, that he knows that his time is running out. You can look at his face, in his last live stream. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not hating on the brother, but I like Mind of God. He's cool, but I mean, his doctrine is going off. You know what I'm saying? That's, it's not a personal attack, right? I'm not going to be like, what's this character? Obadiah is judgment, right? Or something like that. Obadiah judgment or something like that. Which this was an individual me and Mind of God dealt with probably, 2 years ago or something like that. So a lot of y'all don't know who that is. But, a little inside joke between me and him, right? Instead of, being like Obadiah is judgment and just making fun of someone because their glasses or their hair, I'll sit there and come at the doctrine, right? I'm not going to attack someone, for their hairstyle or for their shape of glasses or something like that. There's no reason to be doing that. Just like this character, what was it? When I was on 2-Letter J's stream, you had this character on there named Midas. Guys on there talking about, trying to find out. It's like, oh, what do you do for a living, right? Well, what do you do for a living? It's like, how much was your haircut? You know what I'm saying? And he did that because he got cut, right? He got cut to shreds in the scriptures. So instead of being a man and accepting the facts, he's going to have to sit there and make childish attacks. And notice I don't do that, right? I don't like to do that because there's no reason to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, going back to what I was saying, man, is, Yahweh Shai, right, who the world calls Christ, returns after the tribulation of those days, after the Great Tribulation. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so any of you guys out there, man, who don't think that you had to go through the Great Tribulation, then, you're barking up the wrong tree, man, for lack of better words, right? Because everyone's about to be disappointed real soon, right? A lot of y'all are going to be disappointed, when you see, this, these, food shortages, hitting America, and you're still here, right? A lot of y'all are going to be caught off guard, man, when you see, this juice, right, being, mandatory, where you're not going to be able to, eat without taking it. A lot of y'all are going to be caught off guard, man. Okay, a lot of guys are going to be caught off guard very soon here, man, as they believe that they're all going to be, called away before these troubles. That's not true. That's not in the Bible. Scriptures speak about he that endures till the end is the same as he that will be saved, right? He that endures to the end, the same will be saved. And what does it mean to endure to the end? It means to endure through all of the trials and, tribulations that are to come, man. That's what it means, right? So we're, enduring all this so that we can make it through and be counted worthy of receiving salvation, man. Right? We know that there's no escape from the troubles to come, right? There is no escape. There is no, as the Christian church will call it, they call it a secret rapture, right? They call it a secret rapture. So there's going to be no rapture of the Christian church. There's going to be no secret rapture. There's going to be no pre-plague rapture, right? That's all bullshit, man. That's not in the Bible. All right, and someone recently said, I believe it was Primal Man, which is someone we had on the last stream. He said, well, there's no word rapture in the Bible, which he's right on that. There is no word in the Bible for rapture, right? There's no verse in the Bible that uses the word rapture. Okay, but what does the word rapture mean? I use the word rapture because it's appropriate, because the word rapture just means to take away, right? Or to gather something. So you can use that word to describe it. That's perfectly fine, right? Even though that word's not used in the Bible, there's certainly, places we see where we can easily incorporate the word in it. I'll give an example. When it speaks about the angels collecting, the elect from, all over the earth, it says, to gather them together. So you could put the word in there to rapture them together, because the word rapture just means to gather together. Okay, that's what the word means. Look it up. So I just wanted to do a little video on that. So as I said, go subscribe to Bible Defender. I'll put a link to his channel in the description or in the comments section. So check both of them. Should be in the comments. And I'll say shalom.